right, we're going to be adding and subtracting rational expressions, which is just another application of our factoring, since how adding and subtracting fractions, we have to simplify when we're done. So adding and subtracting when we have a common denominator means that we're going to distribute subtraction through the numerator. We're going to apply polynomial addition. Remember that that's adding the numeric coefficients of like terms. Then we're going to factor the numerator and the denominator as possible. And then we simplify by canceling if possible. So let's give it a go. So first off, I want you to realize that x plus 2 over x plus 2, you can't simplify it because you need the LCD. Second of all, there is no canceling across an equal sign, so don't even try it. So just a couple of warnings there, because those are things that students try to do quite often. So I'm simply going to be adding the numerators. Now I'm going to actually physically write what I'm doing here. You do not have to do this. You can actually just write it down. And then I'm going to copy down the LCD down here. Remember, we add the numerators, carry along the common denominator when we add fractions, and that's what these are. They're fractions. So I'm going to combine this like term and this like term here. So I'm going to get x plus 9 plus 2, which is 11, over x plus 2, which is my LCD. Now, this is simplifying a rational expression. Remember, there's no canceling and addition, so you can't do anything with these x's here. It's not going to end up being 11 over 2. That is not the correct answer, or some variation of that. Sometimes I get 12 over 3, which is equal to 4. And I get all kinds of craziness, but there's no canceling and addition. So we've now just added our first two rational expressions. So with that, let's go try another one. Now this one is subtraction. So remember, subtraction is adding the opposite. So I'm going to put a negative 1 here, and I'm going to put parentheses around this one. And then we're going to be distributing here. And on this one, I want you to see that for x and plus 14, you do not want to try to factor that, okay? It won't do you any good. We need to get the numerator totally together before we start any factoring. So just make sure you don't make that mistake. So now we're going to have in the numerator x squared plus 9x minus 4x, and then minus 14. And that's all over my common denominator, x minus 2. And then I'm going to combine the like terms, 9x and 4x, which make 5x. So I'm going to make x squared plus 5x, and then minus 14, all over my least common denominator. Now, sometimes I get tired of writing a denominator, especially when they're really long, so I will actually physically write LCD. I'll write up here, this is my LCD, and then I'll write LCD, LCD. It prevents a couple of errors. One of the errors that it prevents is trying to cancel anything before it's time, and then it also helps with writer's cramp. So this is a trinomial that can be factored because the factors of 14, we have 1 and 14, and we have 2 and 7, and 2 and 7 will give us a difference of 5. So those are going to factor. So we have an x with a 7, and we have an x with a 5, or excuse me, an x with a 2, and then we need a positive 5, so it's a positive 7 and a negative 2, and then this goes over our x minus 2, and this is the place where we can now cancel, because this is a product up here. Canceling is okay, so cancel here, and then we're going to rewrite it as just x plus 7, and so that will be our final answer, x plus 7. So that's what happens when we add, and then we can simplify. All right, maybe you want to try this one on your own, and maybe the next 1D on your own too before you come back and you watch the next video. So I'll do the next two in the next video, and I'll stop right here for now.